Welcome, everyone. I don't know, it's hard to find anything new to say. We've had so many media days now, and have had a few days of practice, but welcome, and another opportunity here to kick off a 2011 season, and really, it was fun, really, the last few days, just seeing how much our guys have been able to retain just from last spring, and really the new guys are picking things up well and working well. The change of schedule has really been positive. We went this morning at 6:45. We were finished by 9. Got in my car to drive back, and it was about 84 degrees. So, compared to what it is now, we have, not had any heat issues whatsoever, and it's really helped the players. I think they feel, they're staying, more fresh and healthy, and it's really been a positive. Tomorrow now that school's over and fan day's behind us, we'll get into our normal schedule now, which our practices on one-a-days are in the morning, but they're a little bit later. We have meetings from 8 to about 9:30, and then we're on the field at 9:45. But still, what I've been watching, that we'll be off the field before noon, that we still should be fine. So that's how we're gonna proceed from here. The fan day today was really great. We probably took care of 10 times more children than we would have the way we did it the other way. So that was really positive, and had the children out of the heat under the stadium, made a big difference for them, and it seemed to come across really, in a real positive way. With the team, we've had some, 3 good days. Today was the first day having shoulder pads on, and the guys really are performing well. We haven't had any injuries, just a strained, Kenny had a strained hamstring, but it isn't too bad. And other than that, we've been really fortunate to keep everybody on the field and working, and it's, it's really gone well, just to this point. So from there, just fire away.
Bob, you mentioned that your freshmen have done a good job of picking that up. Does that have a lot to do with the summer work with the upperclassmen working with them and that kind of thing?
It does. They go out and do certain things together, and the older upperclassmen, juniors and seniors, usually or even some guys that are sophomores that have played and understand the offense or defense are kind of teaching and helping the freshmen to learn and understand, whether it's terminology or what their assignments are.
You were so positive coming out of Dallas, but you had not yet began to practice. Do you have a sense of the way this team? Can you have a sense already of the way this team will go about practicing, and if it's what you're looking for?
Yeah, it has been. Yes, I do have a feeling, just because everything that they've done leading up to now has been very positive in how they work. Their attitude towards working and preparing has been positive. So I expect that to continue. And just in a few days here, they've really done an excellent job in meetings and being prepared for practice.
How have your young quarterbacks looked so far in practice? Landry, I understand that he needs to get better too, but how have the young guys looked?
Like you'd expect, they're doing a nice job. They'll make their mistakes here and there, which that's why you're practicing. They're learning, where they can squeeze some things into and where they can't. But they're doing a nice job. Drew and Blake, for sure are coming along. They're doing well.
I'll break down the defense a little bit. They had the lull middle of the season, but seemed to finish strong with some momentum, and you got a lot of those guys back. Break down the defense a little bit, what your expectations are and what you see this year.
Well, I expect us to be significantly better from a year ago, just with the added experience and the added experience up front. I really believe our defensive line and DNs are going to be much better than they've been billed to be. They're working, and it's natural, just because they're a year older, a year, stronger in the weight room, you're more experienced on the field in technique, and they've had a few good days already. Linebackers, secondary, I believe there's a ton of talent there that that guys will, and there's more experience, so I really believe the defense will have fewer mistakes, which usually with fewer mistakes, usually we're playing pretty well. And, you know, our better defenses that we've had here, usually it's experience and guys that are really smart and sharp and make few mistakes. And usually when we do, we play pretty well.
Look in the middle so far, Bob, middle linebacker.
Those guys are doing a good job. Tom Wart is, you know, already like night and day from a year ago, which, again, everybody wants, you know, when you see a guy, you saw him last year as a true freshman, basically, because he missed the entire year before, which means with his knee injury, he wasn't able to practice or, you know, play in games. So when you're missing all that practice, plus your knee isn't quite recovered. You know, you're able to play a year after a knee injury. I don't think you totally get it behind you until maybe the second year, and where you start to feel like you're back to normal. So it's been exciting actually for me to watch him. I said it to him today out at stretch. I said I could tell the difference in you just watching tape. You know, his understanding of where to be, what to do, his confidence in understanding it all, and his knee feels better. So Tom's really changed, and the other guys in there are doing well. Jaden Bird, and we've got a few guys that we're rotating in there, but you know, we'll see at the end where it goes. We could always move Corey Nelson back in there if we need to.
Where's he playing primarily right
He's
now?
been playing. We've been experimenting just for the first few days. He's been out at the Sam nickel position and is doing well with it. And we've experimented with. We've been working Tony Jefferson some at the free safety position deep.
How's Lane Johnson doing at that?
He's doing well, doing really well. Looks good, and he and Darrell Williams are both playing very well.
I'll talk about the experiment with Jefferson, or whatever you classify at safety, because you said he's been so good around the line of scrimmage and things. That's the deepest part. I mean, he's playing the deep safety position right now.
And that's a critical part too. I mean, you know, Quentin Carter was a first-team All-American there a year ago. So, you know, we're just looking at it to see. You know, obviously we, you know, believe in, you know, what Tony's able to do, and Corey, and we're just seeing if this, you know, improves us any or not, or it gives us depth down the road. If you ever had to make a switch, they're familiar with the spots and they can go do it. So it's the right thing to do, and how it ends up, you know, we'll see. But that's an important position, you know, the middle of your defense in those safety spots. And, you know, Tony's already proved a year ago he's a guy that makes a ton of plays. And so we're seeing if that'll continue at that spot as well.
Is Javon Harris the other guy there?
Yes, and Javon's doing well, and continues to play in there also.
Any other experiments going on right now, looking at guys at spots they haven't been playing as much? Or?
I don't think so. I mean, I believe I've talked about all of them.
With Noble not coming back, how do you feel about the depth of the D-line?
It's good. Those guys are all, you know, again, they're all improving, you know, daily, and I feel good at Casey and Stacy McGee and then Jamarcus McFarland, and then the young guys are starting. Torier Peterson's starting to come on and do some better things. So we'll be fine in there. I believe those guys are all making significant improvement.
Bob, when you had a change on the staff, like going from Kevin to Josh, how helpful is it to be able to have somebody that's already been here move up to that spot? Has that been pretty seamless?
Well, it's always been our philosophy that I've felt that we've had guys that were ready to take over the coordinator position, so we haven't had to wholesale change anything, and I've always been pleased at the direction of our offense and the way we're doing things. So it has been seamless, and you know, our players, we haven't missed a beat, and so I feel good about it.
Does Josh have a style that is uniquely him as opposed to Kevin? I mean, is that?
His hair is a little more unkept, but other than that,
Say that again?
his hair is a little more unkept than.
Not really.
We'll see. You know, but no, you know. Everybody's, I guess, is different. Yeah, but at the end of the day, as far as play calling and directing our offense, I see a lot of similarities. And what you have to understand is it is never one guy. Kevin was calling plays, but Josh and all these guys are in the meetings and scripting, and this is what we're going to do. So they all have a hand in it, and they all still do. So, you won't know, you shouldn't notice.
Given the youth and overall experience of the group, what are your expectations for the run back position? Maybe you can address that as August progresses and then as games progress.
Yeah, I just anticipate we have a number of guys that will complement one another very well. I don't see any of them that have the maturity and strength and overall, experience that DeMarco had to play the number of snaps he played. So, which is fine. Brennan Clay and Roy Finch and all jumped in for DeMarco a year ago. We've never had one guy, doing it all the time. So those same guys will be there. And Jonathan Miller has really been impressive. Had a great day today. Looks really good. And along with, who am I missing? Dominique Whaley, Brandon Williams. So we'll see where it goes. But I can see where, we're going to use, 2, 3 of those guys for sure, and then keep them fresh. They give you a different change of pace. Obviously, if a guy's hot, leave him in there, as much, while he's going. But even when they get hot, that means they've been on a little bit of a tear. They need a blow. So we'll use all of those guys.
Bob, in 08, it seemed like that team really learned from the year before going to Colorado and losing and using that for next year. Do you feel like this team can do the same thing with what happened at Missouri, what happened at A&M last year?
Hopefully it can. At the end of the day, you have opportunities to make plays in those games. We have to make them, and so it can do that. But we have to do it. So
how about for Sam as a quarterback, being a guy that is the leader of that team?
It made a difference. I mean, he definitely, from the year before, he was a stronger leader and more prepared and ready for the situation. And I anticipate Landry, could do the same thing. So, but you have to go out and do it. But, I think we showed a little bit finishing the year the way we did too. 3 games away from home against, excellent teams and won them when we had to.
How have you seen the difference in Trey Miller compared to, say, this time last year?
Yeah, just he's always been a big, strong guy that can run so well, but he's just maturity and maturity as much as anything. He just you could tell he's although last year I said it I think a year ago he walks around like he's 28 years old, and he walks out there for his first game and at the fullback position, which is a tough grunt position, and plays it wonderfully well. So he's a great player, and he just seems a little more relaxed this year, now that he knows what to expect.
How does Jamel Fleming look after missing the spring? Is it going to take him a little while to get back into the swing of things?
No, he looks great. He's still got his great speed that he's always had, and he's added a few pounds and looks strong. So he looks in great shape. So we anticipate him continuing to do well.
Bob, it seems like this offense has always kind of been that's just that a big physical guy that was a matchup problem. Is Trey that kind of guy for you guys this year?
Yeah, he should be. Like I said, I always brag about his hands, and he's got great feet for a guy that's 255 pounds, and so hopefully that'll be the case. We like to use our big guys that way.
Last year you had to break in a couple new quarterbacks. You sit down in Dallas, you're pretty confident in all areas. Do you see any one area that really needs to make a jump and fall, or is just everybody getting a little bit better?
Yeah, that's it. As coaches, we're always worried about everybody, the guys you have. And I say that because at this level of football, these players should make improvement from year to year in their mental, adjustments and being sharper mentally. Physically, another year in the weight room. At this age, they should be bigger, stronger, faster. Playing physical, the guys that, usually as they gain in age, become more physical and more they understand the game. So, so we're pushing them all to make improvement that way. And it's a good-looking group right now. They look like they're bigger, stronger in most all areas, and that that's a good feeling for a coach.
tell about your offensive line or about the better run blocking? That's something that you got.
Yeah, we'll see. We've had 2 days without pads. You know, you can't tell anything with that. Today we had shoulder pads on. You could tell a little bit more. And I think they're, you know, they look good today. But, you know, we'll see. We've got to get further along into it, get into some live situations and see if, you know, if they've made good progress. I like what I saw in the spring. And, you know, and I like the way we've been, you know, blocking some things. And so I think I feel good we're going to make improvement.
Dwan Miller said at the end of spring he thought he was 85, 90%. How does he look to you so far throughout camp?
He's looked good. He looks like he's you know, full speed and looks good. I've been pleased. I think that's going to, you know, a year ago, I also believe we're going to be more experienced and stronger at the receiver position overall, again, with added experience from a year ago. Kenny Stills is no longer a freshman. You know, Dwan Miller back healthy. Trey Franks has made some nice plays the last few days. Again, not a freshman anymore. And, you know, Ryan Broyles is Ryan Broyles, one of the more special guys out there. Jazz Reynolds is even, you know, has really been I've been excited about his progression in the spring and even here early in camp.
Bob, do you think that Hannah plays a much bigger role this year, as strong as he came on at the end, seeing the big plays that he made?
Sure. You know, James is, you know, a special tight end with his speed. You don't see many guys with playing tight end that are legitimate 4 or 5 guys. You know, he can really run. So we definitely want to always have him, you know, be a part of what we're doing. And our tradition, you know, over the last many years, we love our tight ends. You know, not just blocking, but throwing them the ball. And James, you know, should, you know, he'll be a great target for us. Yeah, I figured I'd better vote in the coaches poll. It almost got me a few years ago. So, but we're not. Last year I wasn't invited to participate in it. So, and not every year you're asked to do it. So.
When do you do that in the course of the week? I mean, when do you sit down and?
No, it's hard. I'll sit up if we get back from an away game. I'll sit up all, you know, a good part of the night checking the, you know, checking all the replays and making sure I know, catch the replays if I can, and how the game went, and what were the scores, and so, and then you can access public records all you want. You won't find that at my office, so, or on my business phone. Oh, none of your business.
Completely our business.
I keep my coaches poll, my voting, just like my other voting, to myself.
When you do that, is it a drag because it's more football, or is it not a drag because it's more football?
It can be taxing, there's no question, when you're trying to see scores and you're trying to see highlights so that you have however you're, you know, voting, that you have some basis to it. So it isn't the easiest thing to do.
Just let Kenny do it.
No. Only if ever something comes up that's wrong, I'll say Kenny did it. But
Your good friend Steve Springer banned his players from Twitter. You got a lot of guys on that. You changed your stance on that at all?
not yet, but I'm considering it.
Was your position just that if you feel you can trust them to not do anything stupid, terrific? If you can't,
Yeah, you know,
I
if
mean,
somebody gets to a point where they are overly stupid and making ignorant comments or whatever, then sure, then it needs to be suspended for a year, you know, whatever. But
Have you've gone case by case with guys?
yeah. I don't know. It's today's world. I still got to recruit. Guy might not want to come here if he can't Twitter. You never know. So
I think Brennan Clay said he'd leave.
I'm always thinking.
I think
Now,
Brennan
there's new
said he'd leave.
legislation that's going in front of the NCAA about upgrading their rules with the social networks and things. Do you have some thoughts on that, or have you made suggestions towards that or anything, or how
No,
they should do it?
I haven't. So I don't know what they'd be trying to do.
You had so many contributing freshmen last year. Do you see any guys right now that are your true freshmen that could make impacts this season?
Oh, sure. Brandon Williams has a chance to for sure. Camille Jackson has a chance to. Trying to think of all of them. But, our intention is to play them. So I'm not looking to, we don't want to redshirt one of them. So we go into the year and they're getting snaps and we're putting them in there and teaching them the same as we are our other guys. So we want them to play. So hopefully, they'll pick things up well enough to play. And we're wanting them to. So we give them the reps and the practice time to get them on the field.
Bob, as you're breaking down every position, there seems to be just an awful lot of confidence coming from you, an awful lot of positive feeling. Is there any area or any concern for you right now as you look at this team?
Well, I guess you're always anywhere where you've lost some players. You want to see anywhere where you've graduated players, other guys fill in. I feel we have guys that are capable, but they have to do it. So I'm concerned, will they do it? DeMarco Murray, was a guy that was our all-time touchdown leader here, and I don't think he had a fumble all last year. So will these guys take care of the ball? Along with doing, making some plays and doing those things, and same thing in the safety positions. We lose a couple of guys that that have played a lot of football for us, and now you got to replace them. So anywhere where you graduate someone, you have to get out and show that you can handle that position.